Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with part 2, I think. Yeah, part 2 of our If My Heart Had Wings playthrough. So last time, we met our main character as he moved back to his hometown after about 5 years of being gone. And he has now transferred schools, he has met up with an old friend, and he has officially become the caretaker of a dorm full of girls. Because, you know, just anime things. And we're back, just like that. So, sorry I missed yesterday for this game. I talked about it in the Far Cry parts for yesterday. But you know, suffice it to say, I had no energy in the morning, so I didn't record before work. I went to work, came home, recorded Far Cry, so that's why. Today, though, we're on track because I did record Far Cry this morning, and then today, obviously, I just got home from work, and now I'm able to record this, so all is well. Now, I am drinking a Snapple apple in front of me. Juice, if you will. I also have a water nearby, because there's lots of reading involved. And so, I need to be my throat to be nice and moist. But if you want the fact for the day, real fact, number 444, like the even number. The Statue of Liberty wears a size 879 sandal. That's a big foot. So there you go. There's your fact for the day. Anyway, let's just hop right into it. So audio-wise, I have adjusted. I have turned down the game by 3 decibels in OBS for PC, obviously. So audio balancing. Now for you guys, this should make no difference because I did that in post for the first part of this game. So for you guys, it always sounded like that. But on my end, I turned it down in OBS so that way in post I shouldn't have to do anything, because that makes editing a lot faster. Anyway, so everything should be good audio balancing wise, and we did this game once already, and I thought the balancing was okay. And then of course we have been done lots of audio balancing for the few Far Cry parts we've done. So the new setup, I'm already getting used to it. So that's pretty nice. Anyway. Let's do this. Good morning. Early in the morning, the doorbell chimed, so I went to open it, and there I saw Agaha. Agaha. That's gonna take a minute to get used to again. What are you doing here? So you really are a dorm mother? She remarked as she saw me wearing an apron. This place, it's the witch's mansion, isn't it? It's a student dormitory for our school, huh? Agaha focused on the word student dormitory as if questioning their suitability as she gazed at the magnificent entrance. I was surprised too to think that I would become the caretaker of this place that we used to sneak into when we were kids. It's nice. I think I might like it here too. If I were living here with you, Aoi, it would definitely be fun. If I'm crushing that name pronunciation, I'm sorry, but it's the best I can do. Why did you come here? I asked while guessing that perhaps she had come to invite me to walk to school with her. She is, after all, my #1 best friend. Oh yeah, I came to ask Tori to come to school with me. I was wrong. Miss Alul? Who's Miss Alul? No, it's nothing. It's his own playful nickname. While blushing due to the misunderstanding, I looked back towards Katori's room. Looks like she still hasn't woken up. Even if she gets up now and takes her time eating breakfast, she can still make it with time to spare. I see. Alright, I'll wait here. Well, hey, that works out. Come hang out with, Mr. Dorm Mother is what I was gonna say. Just hang out with him. Anyway, thanks for the food. There's still some left. Sorry, but I can't eat this much so early in the morning. You're joking, right? I only gave you a little bit. Even people in sports clubs don't eat a huge bowl of some kind of pasta in the morning. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess. Kaneko ate the whole thing again this morning, though. How was the taste?
美味しかったよ。
It was tasty. Really?
ほんと。量が多いから途中で飽きてきたけど。
Yeah, really, but there was a lot of it, so I got tired of eating it halfway through. With good food, it tastes good no matter how much you eat.
あんたの味覚って昔っから大雑把よね。
You've always had a unrefined palate, haven't you? An unrefined palate? The shock hit me like a bolt of lightning. I hung my head in dismay.
なんでそんなショック受けてんの？
Why are you so shocked? The truth is, Ageha had revealed the reason why, since yesterday, the boarders hadn't been eating my cooking properly. I thought I'd ask her opinion, which is why I made Ageha some food and got her to eat it. It was made from leftover ingredients anyway.
朝から生姜焼きとかナポリタンとか果てしなく女子受けしなさそうなメニューね。
Eating things like pork fried with ginger or that pasta in the morning, it's unlikely that girls would ever accept that kind of food.
もっとこう爽やかなのはないの？パスタにしてもトマトソース系とか和風にするとかさ。
What about something more refreshing? If you're gonna make pasta, why not try tomato sauce or Japanese style? Who wants pasta in the morning? That sounds awful to me. Anyway, whatever. Cooking for girls is so difficult. Boy or girl, we're all human. Tasty's tasty. That's what I believed. Hear, hear, brother. Hear, hear. Just as I was seriously troubled by this, I heard the squeaking of turning wheels coming from down the hallway. First, Hat the Duck came into the dining hall, then Kotori came in after him. It's the opposite to usual.
なんで私が。
Why do I have to? Kotori rubbed her sleepy eyes and started preparing Hat's food. It somehow looked as if the hungry Hat had woken her up.
さあ、たらふく食って太りなさい。そのうち私があんたを食べてやるんだから。
There, eat your fill and get nice and fat. Sooner or later, I'm gonna eat you.
かか。
Not understanding her words, Hats happily quacked. I would say quack, not quacks. Quacked happily as Kotori speaks to him and eats his food.
アヒルだ。かわいい。
It's a duck, how cute. She's like, oh god, a stranger. Kotori notices that Ageha is here and instantly opens up her eyes.
これコールダックだよね。テレビの CM で見たことある。ハバネさんが飼ってるの？
This is a pet duck, isn't it? I've seen one in a TV commercial. Is it yours, Kotori?
私の部屋に勝手に住み着いてるだけよ。あなた、ここで何してるの？
He just decided to live in my room, that's all. Why are you here?
ハバネさん、最近ずっと休んでるから、様子を見に来たんだ。体調はもういいの？
Kotori, you've been off for school for too long. I came to see how you are. Do you feel better now?
先生にでも頼まれたのかしら？
The teacher or someone asked you to do this, didn't they?
そういうんじゃないけど、ねえ、一緒に学校行かない？
No, they didn't, actually. Hey, should we go to school together?
誰があんたなんかと。
Who'd want to go with you? Yikes, Kotori, why? Kotori gave a humph and made another one of those straight faces she's so good at.
でも、あんまり休むと授業とか遅れちゃうし。
But if you take too much time off, you'll get behind in the lessons.
あなたには関係ないでしょ？
I don't think it has anything to do with you.
そうなんだけどね。そうだよね。ごめん。
Well, that's true. You're right, I'm sorry. She was just being nice, though.
誰も今日休むなんて言ってないじゃない。
Who said I was taking the day off anyway? Or who said I was taking the day off today?
勘違いしないでね。あなたに言われたから行くわけじゃないのよ。
Don't get the wrong idea. The reason I'm going isn't because you asked me to.
じゃあ待ってるね。
Okay then. Alright, I'll wait for you.
誰があなたと一緒に行くって言ったのよ。私は一人で登校します。
I never said I was going with you. I'll go by myself. Kotori said with a straight face, then turned her wheelchair around. Just as she was about to leave, she stopped the wheelchair and turned around.
あなたたち知り合いなの？
You two, do you know each other? Yeah, we're childhood friends.
バカみたい。
What a pair of idiots. Wow, she's so mean. It looks like she has even more of a bad attitude this morning. However, she did say she was going to school. I mean, yeah, but she was in her uniform yesterday and she didn't go to school, so... After tidying up the breakfast things, I left the dormitory with Agaha. On our way to school, somehow our conversation turned to Kotori. Is there a reason why Kotori stopped coming to school?
まあね。
Yeah, I guess there is.
ハバネさんって足が不自由でしょ。2年で一緒のクラスになった時、そのせいで浮いてるような感じしたから。
Kotori has a walking disability, right? When we joined the same class in the second grade, it seems like she wasn't really into it.
時々話しかけるようにしてたんだ。
Sometimes I would speak to her. That's so like Agaha to worry about that sort of thing. If there are any people who don't really fit into the group or are left out, she just won't ignore them. In the past, that's why she started to play with Mabo, so it could have been for the same reason.
けどハバネさんはあの調子でつっけんどんっていうか馴染む気がないみたいなんだよね。
But for Kotori to be like that, to put it bluntly, it seems like she doesn't really want to fit in. I would say that's definitely the case. She's like purposely tries to oust people, like she doesn't want to get close on purpose, you know? Which is kind of weird. Yeah, I can imagine that somehow.
そんな私とハバネさんのこと見てたクラスの子らがついに怒っちゃって、ハバネさんに物申したのが始まり。
When the other girls in the class saw me with Kotori like that, they'd get angry. That's when they had started to object to Kotori.
クラスの女子 vs ハバネさんの大喧嘩になっちゃって。
It became a big battle of the girls in the class versus Kotori. When Agaha reminded herself of what happened back then, she warily slouched forward. Agaha is cheerful and has many friends. Kotori, who didn't respond to Agaha's concern about her, might have been seen as the one in the wrong by those around them. Since then, she stopped coming to school?
そういうこと。
That's right.
いやー、あの時のハバネさんすごかったよ。クラスの女子全員を向こうに回して全然負けてなかったね。
You know, back then, Kotori was amazing. She faced up to all the girls in the class and didn't back down at all. Agaha's waving her arms around like someone from a kung fu movie and passionately tells the story. I decide not to ask her what kind of heroic deeds took place or for any specific details. Well, I didn't expect that. Even just by saying something in a slightly harsh way, she gets all tearful.
なんでハバネさんうちの学校に来たんだろう。
Why did Kotori come to our school?
だって授業も全然楽しそうじゃないし、友達も作ろうとしないし。
You know, she doesn't enjoy the lessons and doesn't try to make any friends. The only reason I could think of is it might be because it has full disabled access. In fact, that could be the main reason.
ああ、なんかしてあげられることないかな。
Sheesh, I've got to do something about this. Looking at Agaha from the side as she puts her hands behind her head and starts thinking things over, I remember the withdrawal notice that I picked up last night. On the spur of the moment, I decided not to give it back and acted like I knew nothing about it. Is she really planning to drop out? It somehow felt like I had picked some heavy piece of lost property. The two of us both made troubled faces as we walked. Lots of murmuring. A quiet, strange commotion surrounded us. Most of the other students around us on their way to school were looking in the same direction. Over there was a tall, slender, beautiful girl walking along. Oh, it's her. It was the girl I met in the garage. Everyone was looking at her with curiosity, but it seemed that she hadn't noticed the other people were looking at her. Sorry, I'm still finishing my juice. I was looking at her in the same way as everyone else, but Agaha took the way I was looking in the wrong way.
ほうほう、さすがお目が高い。
Ho ho, as I thought, you have high standards.
あの人はうちの学校の超有名人にして超留年生、望月あまね先輩よ。
That girl is really famous in our school. The super repeat student, senior Amane Mochizuki. Super repeat student?
そう、もう何年も留年してるんだって。
Yeah, she's repeated the same school year several times. Is she that stupid? She doesn't look it, though.
どっちかっていうと天才？
If I had to say one way or the other, I'd say she's a genius.
成績トップとかそういう次元じゃなくて、先生ももう教えることは何もないっていうか、たまに教えてもらいに行ってるとかなんとか。
It's way beyond the level of her having the best scores or anything like that. Rather, the teachers have nothing more to teach her. In fact, they sometimes go to learn from her, it seems. Cleverer than the teachers? Does our school really deal in such specialized fields?
それなのに なぜか卒業せず学校に居座ってるの。計画的に単位を落としてわざと留年してるんだって。
Despite that, she doesn't graduate and stays in school. She plans a way to drop out, drop credits, and intentionally repeats the year.
本来規則で認められているよりも余分に留年してるから超留年生。
Originally, she was repeating the year for more times than the school rules allow, which is why she's the super repeat student.
けど珍しいな。朝の通学路で見かけるなんて。
But it's strange to see her on her way to school in the morning. I don't know if she's a genius or not, but she definitely seems like a really weird person. Well, that's a mean thing to say. You don't know anything about her yet, other than the fact that she's super pretty. Then, abruptly, super repeat student senior Amane Mochizuki stopped walking and looked at the sky. Everyone else mimicked her and looked up too. A jet plane flying through the blue sky, pulling its vapor trail along behind it. Wow. Everyone soon realized it was a plane and quickly lost interest and started walking again. However, Amane Mochizuki kept on standing there, looking up at the plane flying high in the sky. When people came from behind and avoided her like she was in their way, she didn't pay any attention to them either.
行こう。
Let's go. Sure. Interesting. Kotori arrived just as our morning homeroom class finished.
遅くなりました。
Sorry I'm late.
幅ね、もう体調の方はいいのか？
Kotori, do you feel any better now?
はい、おかげさまで。
Yes, thankfully.
そうか、心配してたんだぞ。
I see, I was worried about you. Super worried. Kotori went past the homeroom teacher. She seemed bewildered that she had come back to school all of a sudden. Who seemed bewildered, not she seemed bewildered. Who seemed bewildered that she had come back to school all of a sudden, then, still in her wheelchair, arrived at her desk. The desk right at the front was the only one that didn't have a chair. Everyone looked on puzzled.
私は動物園の動物じゃないわ。
I'm not an animal in a zoo. Now that Kotori was in school, she started her cool allure routine again. I guess he's never going to let that go, I guess. She concentrated during the lesson and answered the teacher's questions easily when asked. It seems like her grades in regular subjects are top class. During recess, she sat at her desk reading a book or going off somewhere. She didn't try to talk to anyone, and even if Agaha tried to speak to her, she acted like she hadn't noticed. The other girls in the class looked like they were worried about how they should treat her and watched her from a distance. During gym class, the way she looked on bored left an impression on me. She always looked like she was all alone and didn't seem to be enjoying herself very much. Hey, Kotori! At lunchtime, I found Kotori carrying her bag, about to leave the classroom, and I chased her down the hallway. It's lunchtime, you know, what are you doing? And she's like, later. Suddenly, Kotori dashed away at unbelievable speed. What? Hey! In the heat of the moment, I tried to chase her, but I thought I would bump into passing students, and I was too slow to start moving. Like I said, it seems like she's hell-bent on keeping everybody as far away from her as possible. It's like she really doesn't want friends, you know? In the meantime, Kotori had already gotten inside the elevator. According to the school rules, most students are not allowed to use the elevator. It was only supposed to be used by workers or teachers carrying big loads or disabled students like Kotori. Even so, I chased after her, only for the doors to close mercilessly in front of me. She's like, ah, suck it. Through the glass, the one with the self-proclaimed cool allure stuck her tongue out and headed to the floor below as I stood and watched. You're not getting away. He's like, I'm gonna be your friend and socialize with you, and you can't stop me. He's out of breath. I ran and made it to the school gates. She was holding her bag. It looked as though she was trying to leave early, so I went to cut her off. However, I can't deny the possibility that her lunch is in the bag. Maybe I got the wrong idea. If that's not it, then what could be your problem? I watched over the school gates like some guardian statue. Bam! I was crashed into by something in the back, in other words, from outside the school gates. Ah! Ow! What was that? I got up and felt like I was crawling out from under an avalanche. Then I saw a big cardboard box and a girl that had fallen over. Are you okay?
大丈夫。
Ow, ow, ow. I'm okay.
すまない。荷物で前が見えなくて。
Hey, look who it is. I'm sorry, but I couldn't see ahead of me because of this box I was carrying. Oh. I looked at her as I got up, and without thinking, I thought I was gonna say the super repeat student, but I held my tongue.
君こそ どこも怪我はないか？
How about you? You're not hurt, are you? I'm alright.
そうか、よかった。
I see. That's good. As she says that, the super repeating super senior, that is way too many, like, way too many words, too long a title, holds onto the big cardboard box.
よっと。ああ、お腹が。
Oh, my stomach. Anyway, sorry. She went to lift it up, but then Senior Amane Mochizuki slumped down exhausted.
空腹による一時的なパフォーマンスの低下が著しい。
Due to an empty stomach, my short-term performance has been significantly reduced. I'll help you carry it. Huh. Oh, it's so heavy. The big cardboard box is incredibly heavy.
いいんだ。自分で運べるから。
It's fine, I can carry it myself. Come on, it's no big deal. I said as I went to pick it up anyway.
ありがとう。
Thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Amane. You're welcome. Is this okay here? I don't know what's in it, but we put the heavy cardboard box on the floor.
悪いな。手伝ってもらって。
Sorry about that. Thanks for helping. It's alright. Anyway, Senior, if you're hungry... She was staring towards the inside of the garage. Senior? I found myself copying her and looking in the same direction. Inside was Kotori. What's she doing here? She's by the big thing placed in the center of the garage and is trying to lift up the sheet to see what's underneath.
それに興味があるのかい？
Are you interested in that? Kotori is surprised when Amane speaks to her. Kotori seems intimidated and nods. Amane vigorously pulls back the sheet. Inside is a white, streamlined aircraft. Kotori looked at it dazed. I say wow as I let a small surprise sound slip out.
これ、もしかしてグライダ
Could this be a glider?
ー？ああ、そうだ。
Yes, it is. Amane nodded and Kotori cautiously moved her hand closer to the aircraft. Even in the dimly lit garage, the glider's white body had a glossy shine to it and faintly reflected Kotori's face. I moved towards it to take a closer look. Is this the one that we saw from Windmill Hill?
多分そう。
Yeah, it could be. The smooth surface looks like it was made from plastic. However, it is hard to the touch. The wings had been removed, and for now, it was just the body. For easy storage, I
コッ
imagine.
クピットはこんな風になってるんだ。
So this is what the cockpit's like. This is amazing. Yeah. She's realizing that who she's talking to. See what I just say? We started talking to each other at some point, but then we suddenly realized who it was we were talking to. Hey you, why are you running away just now? She calmly ignores my question and then hurriedly tries to escape, but I go ahead to block her. I won't let you get away. Like, what's your problem? Like, I'm just trying to talk to you. What did you come here for? You're not here to eat lunch, are you?
意地悪な奴が校門で見張ってたからここに隠れてたのよ。
Huh, there was some mean guy guarding the school gate, so I came to hide in here. So she really was trying to leave early.
知り合いかい？
Do you know her? Unfortunately. Amane was listening carefully to our conversation. It's like, yeah, technically.
おいしい。
This tastes good. I'm not gonna copy all of her munching noises, alright? Amane was wolfing down a pasta. I'm not even gonna bother with that. It's like Neapolitan, but that's not it. And that just makes me think of that ice cream. Anyway, and Kotori and I both had a face that seemed to say whoa and looked on in amazement. Why would we say whoa?
なんでかな。美人にこういうことされるとすごいがっかりする。
Well, to see such a beautiful girl do something like that, I feel really disappointed. Oh. She didn't know what she was eating ice cream like a crazy... She didn't know that when she was eating ice cream like a crazy idiot, and I had the same reaction when I was watching her. By the way, the thing that Amane was eating was the lunchbox that I had brought. As usual, the boarders hadn't eaten the breakfast I had made for them, so I packed it as my lunch. I had made 2 lunchboxes. One was for me. As for the other one, I thought that if Kotori was going to go to school, she might have found it difficult at lunchtime, so I was worried about her, and I brought her another lunchbox. That's why I was chasing her. If she didn't need it, I thought that I might eat them both myself, but she ran away before I could ask her.
でもいいのか？君のお弁当全部食べてしまって。
But is this okay for me to eat your whole lunchbox? Asked Amane, although she'd already eaten most of it before asking. I've already eaten my one. I was hungry during morning recess, so I had lunch early. Relieved to hear my answer, Amane continues to enjoy the cold pasta of some kind.
おいしいな。ちゃんとしたご飯を食べるのは久しぶりだ。
Whew, this is delicious. It's been a while since I had proper food like this. Didn't you have anything to eat before I saw you yesterday? I only gave her one piece of bread. Amane stopped moving her chopsticks and took a good look at my face.
もしかして君は昨日パンをくれた人か？
Was it just yesterday? Anyway, could it be that you're the person who gave me that bread yesterday? You only just realized?
いや、昨日は集中していたからな。
Well, I was concentrating on something yesterday. She really is weird.
そうか、君は2度も私を救ってくれたのか。
Oh, I see. So this is the second time you saved me. She looked at me with eyes that sparkled like a little kid's. If she were a dog, her tail would definitely be wagging like crazy.
君からパンをもらったのが約20時間前で、それ以前に遡るなら、最後に食事をとったのはおよそ70時間前になる。
I received the bread from you approximately 20 hours ago. Prior to that, the last meal I had eaten was roughly 70 hours earlier. You know, judging by the way she speaks and how exact it is, like, approximately 20 hours ago. Like, and even though she's repeating grades and it's like, it sounds like she's purposely doing things so that she fails and has to repeat for some reason. It sounds to me like she's probably a genius, and you know what they say about people, like, being a genius and being completely mad is only, like, two sides of the same coin, you know what I mean? So I imagine that she strikes me as being incredibly smart, but a lot of incredibly smart people are a little socially awkward a little bit, and that kind of strikes me as her, where they're a little bit odd, but they're obviously super, super brilliant. So, like, that's kind of what she strikes me as a little bit odd, but very, very brilliant, and without knowing that much about her, that's kind of my overall feeling of her. So, you know, time will tell, but that's kind of my drive. So far, I like her a lot. I find Kotori and how mean she is a little bit annoying, so far, Amane is my favorite one. I counted on my fingers. If there are 24 hours in a day, that's 3 days ago!
太陽軒の豚骨ラーメン全部のせを食べた。スープが濃厚で美味しかった。
I went to Taioken and ate pork ramen with all the toppings. The soup was rich and delicious. She recalls this and her face looks like she's about to start drooling. Why don't you eat? Are you on a diet?
忘れていた。
I forgot. Huh?
考え事をしていると他のことをよく忘れるんだ。私はバカだからな。
When I'm thinking about something, I forget about everything else. That's because I'm stupid. Amane replied with pride. I'd prefer it if she didn't compare it to when people forget things because they're hungry.
ここでグライダーを作っているんですか？
Are you building this glider?
ああ。
Yeah? Are you doing that here?
ソアリング部の部室兼ガレージだが。
The Soaring Club used this garage as a warehouse. Soaring Club? I wasn't familiar with the name. What's soaring?
上昇気流に乗ってグライダーで飛ぶことをソアリングと言うんだ。
How do you not know what soaring is? Anyway, whatever. Soaring is to fly a glider by riding the rising air currents. Flying a glider by riding the rising air currents, I kind of get it, but on the other hand, I don't get it. Well, do you get it or don't you? You can't do both? I get it. I don't get it. Like, do you get it or don't you? If you have to end that sentence with I don't get it, I think you probably don't get it. So the aim of the club is to make and fly a glider?
そういうことになるな。
Well, yeah, that's right. So this garage is used for club activities after all. Even so, it's pretty spacious. I mean, well, they're building gliders here.
グライダーって飛行機みたいなものなんでしょ？自分で作れるものなの？
A glider is like an airplane, isn't it? If that's something you could make yourself.
ああ、作れるさ。それが人工物である以上、人に作れないものはないはずだが。
Yeah, I can make it because it's a man-made object. There's no reason why you can't make it, right? I have a feeling that that's not what she was asking. However, Amane answered the question in all seriousness.
どうやって作るの？
How do you make it?
そうだな。それを説明するなら実際に作ってみた方が早い。
Well, rather than explaining it, it's quicker if you actually made one yourself. Hold on a minute, I said as Amane slurped up the last of the pasta with extremely bad manners. Wiping around her mouth with a tissue, she started rummaging through a desk drawer.
あれはどこに行ったかな。
Where did that thing go? Peeking inside the drawer, somehow I got the impression that Amane is a typical disorganized person. Rather than putting things away, it was more like they were stuffed in.
お、あったあった。これだ。
Ah, here it is, this is it. The thing that Amane had taken out was a paper airplane construction kit made using cardboard.
さあ、作ってみてくれ。
Okay, try and make one. Without thinking, Kotori and I looked at each other. I feel that manufacturing a glider and making a paper airplane are completely different things. But for now, I'll try doing as she says. Using glue and a craft knife, in about 10 minutes we had finished the paper airplane.
できたわ。
Finished. All done. Amane takes the plane that Kotori had made and takes a good look. Then she threw it. The paper airplane floated gently as it flew and landed near the wall on the far side of the garage.
綺麗にまっすぐ飛んだ。いい機体だ。
It flew straight very nicely. It's a good plane. Kotori seems embarrassed at being complimented.
飛行機にはいろんな種類がある。ジャンボジェットや小型セスナ、戦闘機。
There are many types of airplanes. There are jumbo jets, small Cessnas, fighter planes.
そして今投げた紙飛行機。
And then there are paper airplanes like the one you just threw.
それらはみんな同じ原理で飛ぶんだ。
But all of them fly based on the same principle. Paper airplanes and jumbo jets are the same?
ああ、原理は同じ。翼を使って空気に浮かび飛行する。
Yes, the principles are the same, using their wings to float on the air in order to fly. Kotori and I both tilted our heads in puzzlement. We both had a skeptical look on our faces. I can understand that a light paper airplane can fly by riding the wind, but it's too hard to imagine that a giant hunk of metal can float in the sky on the same principle. There must be some other method that allows it to fly. I mean, yeah, like a giant-ass engine, just as a thought. Amane goes to pick up the paper airplane that she had just thrown.
これをよく見てほしい。君たちが知っている飛行機とこの紙飛行機。違いはどこにある？
I'd like you to take a good look. Can the two of you see what the difference is between this plane and the paper one? Between this airplane and this paper one? The size and the material?
人が乗るかどうかも違うわ。
Also, whether or not people ride on it.
そうだな。あとはエンジンがあるかないかくらいか。
That's right. And then there is whether or not it has an engine.
逆に言えばその他は同じだ。そこに飛行の原理がある。
On the other hand, everything is the same. Here we have the principles of flight.
一般的な飛行機はだいたいこれと同じパーツからできている。
Regular airplanes are made from mostly the same parts as this.
まずは胴体。
First, there's the body.
次に主翼。
Next are the main wings,
水平尾翼。
the horizontal tail plane,
垂直尾翼。
the vertical tail plane,
多少突飛な形状をした飛行機でもだいたい同じパーツかあるいは同じ役割をする別のパーツによって構成されている。
There are a few airplanes that have a somewhat quirky shape, but even in those cases, they still have mostly the same parts, or other parts that fulfill a similar role. When she puts it like that, I guess she's right. I've never paid that much attention to it, though.
ところで飛行機がなぜ空気に浮くのか知っているかい？
By the way, do you know how an airplane floats on the air?
揚力があるからよ。
Because it has lift.
そうだ。揚力とは流体の中にある翼に働く力のうち流れの方向に対して垂直な成分のことを言う。
That's right. Like the force of a fluid moving over a wing, lift is said to be the vertical component in accordance with the direction of the flow. I look baffled again, and Amane smiles a little and rephrases it.
つまり空気が翼を浮き上がらせようとする力のことだ。
In other words, it's the force that makes the wings float up on the air.
揚力はここ。主翼によって生み出される。
Lift is created here on the main wings.
翼に前から風が当たると空気は翼の上と下に分かれて流れていくことになる。
When air hits the wings from the front, the airflow divides, going over and under the wings. I can just imagine the wings cutting the air like a blade.
この時翼の上側と下側で気流の速度に差が生じると
流れの速い側の圧力が下がるんだ。
Alright, at that time, there is a difference in the speed of the airflow above and below the wing, and the pressure drops on the side that has the faster airflow.
ベルヌイの定理ね。
That's someone's theorem. Amane nods. Standing beside her, I am a little freaked out as she so easily comes out with the word like, whatever the word she said. What the hell is that?
授業で習ったでしょ。
We were taught that in class, right? We didn't learn that in my school. Maybe.
だから飛行機の翼は上面の空気が速く流れるよう設計されている。上面側の圧力を下げるためだ。
That's why the airplane's wings are designed so that the air flows faster on the upper side. This is in order to lower the pressure on the upper side.
そうすることで相対的に仮面の圧力が高まり、空気が翼を持ち上げようとするんだ。
By doing this, the pressure on the lower side is higher in comparison, and then the air lifts the wings up. The air lifts the wings up. It's a phenomenon that's hard to suddenly imagine. It's not that hard to imagine. So that's that theorem. Emma nods as if to say yes.
それともう一つ、翼の上面を流れた空気は翼面によって下へ曲げられ、後方に吹き下ろしを生じさせる。
There's one more thing. The air flowing over the top of the wing bends downwards because of the wing's surface, causing downforce behind it. As she explains, Amane is drawing a cross-section of a wing. I swear to God, it's like watching Bill Nye as a little kid again, I swear. I swear that you learned about airplanes at some point in Bill Nye. I swear that's a thing. I'm getting some serious flashbacks. According to that, an airplane's wings are flat at the bottom and at the top is shaped like a mountain, so it seems like it is semicircular. Apparently, the air on the upper side flows along the raised, curved surface and then bends to flow downwards. As for the question of why the air flows along the raised surface, it can only be said that this is because of the nature of the air. Or so it would seem.
この吹き下ろしはニュートンの第三法則によって同じだけの反作用を翼に与え、上方に持ち上げようとする。
This downforce, according to Newton's third law, causes the same reaction on the wing, which lifts it in an upward direction. This reaction lifts up the wing?
重たいバスケットボールを地面に叩きつけようとしたら体がふわーっと浮く感じがするでしょ。
When a heavy basketball hits the ground, doesn't it seem like it's floating weightlessly?
それと同じことよ。
It's the same as that. Does that mean that when the wing drops in the air, the reaction causes it to float?
それら揚力が機体の重量を上回った時、飛行機は空を飛ぶことができる。
So when the lift exceeds the weight of the airplane can fly through the air. I am so like my brain hurts because thinking hurts. However, I am wrapping my mind around this, but considering what type of person our MC is, I imagine he's completely lost.
たとえそれが総重量数百トンに及ぶジャンボ旅客機でもね。
For example, it's the same for a jumbo passenger airliner with a total weight of several hundred tons. Theoretically, that may be so, but I still couldn't imagine how enough lift to cause several hundred-ton airplane to take off could be created. However, airplanes do actually fly in the sky.
揚力を生み出してくれるこの主翼は飛行機が空に浮かぶために必要なパーツというわけだ。
The main wings that create the lift are the parts necessary to make the airplane fly in the sky. I don't know if I can understand or not. However, I understand that the main wings are the most important part.
次に尾翼だが、垂直と水平と2つある。
Next are the tailplanes, of which there are two types, vertical and horizontal.
これらは空中で機体の姿勢を安定させるためについている。
These are added to stabilize the position of the airplane when in midair.
飛行機は空中に浮いているから、地面に立つ我々よりもいつだって不安定なんだ。
An airplane floats in midair, which is much more unstable than we humans are when standing on the ground.
まっすぐ上を向いてるのが垂直尾翼。横方向の動きを安定させる。
The one going straight up is the vertical tailplane, which this stabilizes lateral movement.
主翼と同じ向きに横に伸びているのが水平尾翼。
The ones extending out sideways are the same as the main wings are the horizontal tailplanes.
こっちは縦の動き。つまり頭の上げ下げを安定させてくれる。
These move vertically, in other words, stabilizing the up and down movements of the nose.
これがないと紙飛行機もまっすぐには飛んでくれない。
Without this, even a paper airplane won't fly straight. I see, so that's why they have small wings on the tail.
そしてボディ。
Then there's the body.
ここは飛ぶこととは直接関係がないな。
Sorry about the truck outside, y'all. Nothing I can do about that moron. This doesn't have a direct relationship to flight. But if you don't have this, there's nowhere to attach the wings.
以上が飛行機の基本形。
And that is the basic form of an airplane.
これはずっと昔、ライト兄弟の時代から変わらない。
This hasn't changed since a long time ago, since the era of the Wright brothers. Since that long ago? But the Wright brothers were the first people in the world to fly an airplane, right? So nothing has changed since the very first one was made?
ライト兄弟は動力を積んだ飛行機で飛んだ最初の人たちだ。グライダーはそれ以前から飛んでいたぞ。
The Wright brothers were the first to fly using powered flight. Gliders were being flown even before that. Yeah, I guess so. I always thought that the Wright brothers were the first to fly.
翼の役割を知りたければ、この紙飛行機で試してみるといい。
If you know the role of their wings, you should try it on this paper airplane.
例えば、そうだな。垂直尾翼を少し曲げて。それ。
For example, if you were to bend the vertical tail plane a little like this. The plane that Amane threw curved gently as it flew.
さらに主翼のここの部分を少し曲げれば。
Also, if you curve this part of the main wings a little, she bent the left and right wings so that they twisted at the back. This time, the plane twisted as it flew. Hey, that's pretty interesting. Seeing this, Kotori started to adjust the tailplane on her own on her own paper airplane.
見てて。
Watch this. Full of confidence, Kotori threw her paper airplane. Whoa!
ほう。
It did a beautiful loop-the-loop before landing. That's cool, it did a loop-the-loop.
面白いこの紙飛行機。
That paper airplane is really interesting. This, not that, sorry. Kotori and I both got really engrossed in adjusting the wings and playing around. Sometimes the paper airplanes displayed some mid-air acrobatics, and other times they didn't fly at all and crashed into the ground. However, by trying it for ourselves, we were able to get a real understanding of the role of the wings. Just by changing the shape of the wings a little, you can make them fly in many different ways.
実際の飛行機には補助翼などの小さな翼がついている。それらを調節することで機体を操作するんだ。
Actual airplanes that have many smaller wings, such as insert plane name here, that I can't pronounce, the aircraft is controlled by adjusting them. As she explained, Amane moved to the side of the garage. Then she lovingly laid her hand on the glider.
このグライダーにはエンジンはついていない。
This glider doesn't have an engine.
紙飛行機を大きく頑丈にしてコックピットを取り付けただけのものなんだ。
It's like a bigger and more robust paper airplane. The only thing that has been added is the cockpit. Kotori and I looked at the paper airplanes in our hands. I imagined riding it and flying through the sky. This is just like the fantasies I envisioned as a kid. The glider in front of me was the real thing.
どうだ？作れそうな気がしてきただろ？
How about it? You just felt like you could make one, didn't you? But it doesn't have an engine. How does it fly? Paper airplanes gain thrust by being thrown by people.
風に乗って飛ぶんだ。
By riding the wind. Both I and Kotori gazed at the white aircraft. That day we saw this flying from Windmill Hill. Riding the wind, that expression expresses it so perfectly. The way it flew so smoothly and calmly.
風に乗って。
Riding the wind. Amane nods happily.
そして上昇気流に乗ってどこまでも舞い上がる。
Then, by riding rising air currents, you can fly anywhere.
どこまでも？
Anywhere?
ああ、雲の上にだって行けるんだぞ。
Yep, you can even go above the clouds.
雲の上？
Above the clouds? Kotori looked at the aircraft with an expression of disbelief. I also couldn't imagine that this thing flying above the clouds. Have you been there, above the clouds?
それがな。
Well, that's, Suddenly her mood drops.
組み上がったのがついこの間で、ようやくテストフライトにこぎつけたんだが。
I only put it together recently and finally took it out on a test flight.
あの時だ。
It was that time. Ah. Kotori and I react by exchanging glances.
強度が足りなかったみたいで、途中で主翼が折れてしまった。
The wings weren't strong enough and they snapped halfway through. So you mean...
危ないところだった。もし完全に折れていたら湖に落ちて死んでいたかもな。
Yeah, it was pretty dangerous. If they had broken completely, I might have fallen to my death in the lake. Ha ha ha, she laughed as she spoke.
また作り直さないといけない。私は手先があまり器用じゃないからな。
I have to rebuild them. It's because I'm not so good with my hands.
それと一部のケーキが故障してるのも分かったんだが、代わりの部品が手に入らなくて困っている。
Also, I know some of the instruments are broken, but I'm having trouble getting my hands on the parts.
自分で作っちゃえばいいんじゃないの？
Why don't you make them yourself? Kotori said that so easily. At a school where things like this are taught, they have all the equipment you need to make anything, from a screw to an aircraft.
そうもいかなくてな。
That's no good either. Amane, with a troubled look on her face, took some broken parts from the drawer.
ダイヤフラムといって待機速度計に組み込まれている部品なんだが、
The diaphragm is one of the parts used to make the airspeed controller.
特注品でこれを作った工場がとっくの昔に潰れてしまっているんだ。
This was a special order, and the factory where this was made shut down a long time ago. Kotori and I gazed at the parts in the palm of Amane's hand. It certainly looks like it wouldn't be easy to make. If it's the kind of thing that can be made in the town factory, there might be something that can be done about it. Amane's eyes light up as I quietly mumble.
本当か？
Really? Well, I don't know until I ask, but I know someone like that.
頼む。それがないと本当に困るんだ。
Please, if I don't have this, I'll be in a real fix. Okay, I'll try asking next time I see him. Can I borrow this?
ありがとう。君に救われるのはこれで3度目だ。
Thank you. This will be the third time you saved me. Whoa! Suddenly she gives me a full-on hug and we're even cheek to cheek. That's adorable.
ありがとう。ありがとう。
Thank you, thank you. You can thank me once I've actually got it.
そういえばそうだったな。でもご飯のお礼も兼ねているんだ。
Sorry, a little bit on the too quick on the draw there. Oh yeah, I guess you're right, but this includes thanks for lunch.
だからもう一回感謝の気持ちを表させてくれ。
So let me express my thanks one more time. No, that's enough, seriously.
そうか？
Really. Why would you turn her down, bro? Let her hug you all she wants. Kotori was sullenly glaring at me. What's her problem? Man, you're like not even friendly to me. Like, I don't know what your issue is. I wonder if this will really fly. Kotori and I both gazed at the glider with the same look on our faces.
ところで君たち、
By the way, you two,
もしグライダーに興味があるのなら、
if you're interested in gliders, the bell rings, interrupting Amane. Amane flinches in surprise and quickly turns her back to us. If you're interested, what is it?
いや、いいんだ。忘れてくれ。
No, it's nothing. Forget about it. Somehow it seems she's avoiding something. Amane?
なんだ？
What? Can I come and see you again?
ああ、もちろんだ。興味があるならいつでも来てくれ。
Yeah, of course. If you're interested, come by anytime. I have to bring her those parts as well.
君も
You too.
また見に来てくれ。
Come again. Sure. As Kotori nods, Amane grins as she nods back. She's really beautiful when her smile somehow makes her look like a little kid. All right, shall we get back to the classroom? Huh? I started pushing Kotori's wheelchair and decided to start walking.
どこ連れて行く気？
Hey, where are you taking me? The classroom, of course.
やだ、やめて。私お腹空いてるの。お昼食べてないから。
No, stop! I'm hungry and I haven't had lunch yet. You reap what you sow.
やだってもう。押さないで。
Well, like, how about you eat while he's pushing you? Anyway, I said stop. Hey, don't push me. I brought Kotori with me against her wishes, and we returned to the classroom. It's like she should just wolf her food down while she's rolling along, you know?
Aoi!
Aoi. Brochacho. I went back to the dorm, and someone called out to me when I was at the gate.
Aoi.
Anchan. Ah, I guess the mysterious Anchan. When I saw who it was, my level of enthusiasm went up by about 500%. Standing there was Anchan. I was thinking about going to see you tomorrow or something. Or some when. I'm just gonna assume that was something.
お前に早く会いたくて仕事抜けてきちまった。
I wanted to meet you soon, so I skipped work to come here.
久しぶりだな、葵。
It's been a long time, bro. I try to avoid saying his name as much as I can. There's sometimes I can't get around it, but I'm trying as much as I can to get around it. Anchan ruffles my hair. Hey, stop that, will you? Completely ignoring my attempts to resist, Anchan gives me a noogie, grinding my hair around and around. I hate that. I mean, luckily that's like not anything that ever happened since like the 80s, so it's like it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, in principle, I would hate that. I think that my hair is probably messed up pretty badly now, although I actually just shaved my head, so it wouldn't even affect me now. So deal with that. Anyway, this is Tatsuya Igarashi, commonly known as Anchan. He's a childhood friend of Agaha and mine, and is like a real big brother to us. He's much older than us, but we used to play together a lot as kids. Aw, geez, you're messing up my hair.
悪い。昔を思い出してついな。
Ah, sorry. When I remembered the past, I couldn't help it. You haven't changed either, Anchan. Still the same as before.
おいおい。それ褒め言葉じゃないぞ。
Hey, hey, that's not a compliment, is it? Oh, isn't it?
そうさ。人は人どころに停滞してちゃいけない。
Of course.
変わっていくもんだ。
People can't get stuck in a rut. People change, you know? What Anchan says is true, but to me, I'd rather Anchan just stays the same as he is now. As I think about that, Anchan all of a sudden has a kind look on his face.
足、もういいのか？
Is your leg okay now? Yeah, well, enough for everyday life. Ah, so he did get injured at his old school.
そうか。
I see.
大変だったな。
And looks like his bro Tatsuya was one of the only ones that knew about it. Anyway, that's interesting. Must have been tough. It's no big deal. I can have a normal life like this. On top of that, I had you there to watch me in the race when I tried the hardest.
あれはいいレースだったな。表彰台に乗ったお前、
That was
かっこよかったぞ。
Sorry, too fast. That was a good race. You looked pretty cool when you were on the podium. I came third though. In my previous school, I was in the cycle racing club. In the final race of the first grade, I was able to take third place spot on the podium. It was my best result. For that race, Anchan traveled a long way to come and watch me.
3位でも立派だ。
Third place is still amazing. Yeah. Ah, so yeah, that's interesting. Looks like he was injured. Because of Anchan's kindness, I felt a little tearful. He sensed how I was feeling and started to mess up my hair again. This time, it wasn't so rough.
今はここの寮母をやってるんだってな。
So, now you're the dorm mother of this place, huh? Yeah.
飛び魚そうか。懐かしいな。
The Flying Fish Manor, that brings back memories. We used to play here a lot, so we would come sneaking in.
ああ、そうだったな。
Oh yeah, that's right. That wasn't what Anchan was talking about just now?
ところで、あの子もここの寮生か？
By the way, is that girl a boarder here? Someone was hiding in the shadow of the gate. Kotori. I looked like she couldn't get past because Anchan and I were in the way. She could have just spoke to us normally, but instead she was hiding and watching us.
こんにちは、お嬢さん。
Hello there, Missy.
こんにちは。
Hello. Kotori was still being cautious, but returned the greeting. Then we got out of her way, then went into the composed mode and entered the dormitory.
あの子、ここの子だったのか。
So that girl lives here, huh? You know her?
ああ、時々街で見かける。
Yeah, I see her in town from time to time.
うちの工場の近くにでかい犬がいるだろ。
There's a big dog near my factory, you know? Pedigree? There's a big dog that goes by that name. I'm sure it was a Saint Bernard. That's a big dog.
昨日はペディグリーの近くをうろうろしてたな。
Yesterday she was hanging around near Pedigree. Was she by any chance trying to stroke his head?
ああ、そんな感じだった。食い物をあげたりしてたんだが、あの犬、飼い主の餌以外食べないからな。
Yeah, that's what it looks like. She was giving him food, but that dog only gets food from his owner. As I thought. That was in the things I want to do list. Stroke the head of a big dog in the neighborhood. It's really scary, but it might be unexpectedly friendly. If possible, I'd like to ride around on its back. So she was skipping school to go and do things like that. Well, I'll forget about Kotori for now.
とにかく、おかえり、葵。
Anyway, welcome back, Aoi. It's good to be back, Anchan. I seemed a little embarrassed as I answered, and Anchan grinned at me.
困ったことがあったら遠慮なく頼れ。俺はお前らのあんちゃんなんだからな。
If you have any problems, don't hesitate to ask. I'm your big bro, right? Parting with those words, Anchan turned to leave. Oh, that's right, Anchan. I know this is a bit soon, but I have a favor to ask. I took the parts from Amane had left with me out of my bag. Along with it, was a memo with the dimensions and so on written down. I need some parts the same as these. Would you be able to get one? Anchan's family runs a factory. It's known as a town factory, and it seems that they manufacture special order-made parts. Anchan works there right now. If Anchan can't do it, he might be able to use his connections with other engineers to introduce me to other factories. Anchan looks at the broken parts and the memo.
ダイヤフラムか。ああ、いいぞ。
A diaphragm, huh? Yeah, okay. He quickly answered.
手に入ったら連絡する。
I'll contact you when I get my hands on it. Thanks, Anchan.
いいって。
No problem. Anchan raised one hand and turned to leave. Well, that's convenient. We already got that set up. Thanks to the fact that I was able to meet Anchan, I went back to my room in a good mood. I put my hand on the saddle of the bicycle in the corner of my room. I'm proud to have been able to stand on the podium in front of a buddy like Anchan.
高そうな自転車ね。
That looks like an expensive bike. Before I realized, Katori was next to me. What are you doing here?
さっき一緒に入ってきたの。気づいてなかったの？
I came in here with you, didn't you realize? I hadn't realized. Do you want something? Without answering my question, Katori opened a drawer in the desk.
ここね。違った。
In here! Maybe not.
こっちかしら。
How about in here? It looks like she's searching for something?
ない。おかしい。絶対持ってるはずなのに。
Not here. That's strange. I was sure that she'd have it. There was nothing that I didn't want her to see, so I was unfazed when I questioned her. What are you doing?
探し物よ。見てわかるでしょ？
Looking for something. You could see that, can't you? I know, but you shouldn't go at least get the consent of the owner of the room?
あなたこそ早く返しなさいよ。
What?
持ってるの。わかってるのよ。
Sorry, too fast. What about you? Give it back now. I know you got it. Got what?
だから。
Oh, the piece of paper, I betcha. It's... Apparently she was looking for the withdrawal notice that I picked up before. Yeah, see, told you. I don't know what you're looking for, but I don't think it's in here.
言い方が怪しい。絶対持ってるに違いないんだから。
You definitely sound suspicious. There's no mistaking it. I know you haven't. Did you say something?
別に。
No. Seems like her search has come to a stop. However, Katori isn't leaving the room and continues looking around the room.
私、男の子の部屋に入るなんて初めて。
It's the first time I've been in a boy's room.
結構片付いてるのね。もっとゴミためみたいなのを想像してた。
Oh, please. It's pretty tidy, isn't it? I expected there to be trash everywhere. What a stereotype. I'm like one of the cleanest people I know. And in case you didn't notice, I'm a dude. Just saying. I don't have many things. Thanks to that, moving house was easy. Katori was staring straight at the bike, which gave off a unique presence in my room.
あなた、足どうかしたの？
What happened to your leg? I panicked at being asked so frankly. It's no big deal. Looks like she was listening to my conversation with Anchan. Just had a bit of an injury, but look, it's fine now. I lightly swing my leg to show her.
転校してきたのはその怪我のせいなの？
Is the injury the reason why you changed schools? It's fine, really. Why do you ask?
別になんとなく。
No reason? I just felt like it. There's no need for you to worry about it.
誰が心配なんてしたのよ。してません。1ミリたりともしてません。
Who said I was worried about you? Who said I was worried about you? I'm not worried, not even a tiny bit.
じゃあね、時間の無駄だったわ。
See you later. That was a waste of time. Katori made a straight face and goes back to her room. You're going again tomorrow, aren't you?
Huh?
To the garage at lunch?
いい。
I'm not going. Is what I felt like she was going to say.
行くわよ。
I am going, she answered and panicked as she left my room. Looks like I should make 3 lunch boxes this time. You know, Katori is like, I don't know, it feels like she tries really hard to stay away from people, and it's like, tries very hard to not make relationships. But like, and then she's doing that whole tsundere thing of, I don't care, not even a little bit type of thing. On a very light key tsundere, not like super heavy. And being a tsundere is not my favorite character type, and so, you know, she's okay. She's on, like, I don't know, she's like a 3 out of 5 character for me so far. I mean, like, there's things I like about her, but often tsundere to me just comes across as a little bit annoying. Not, like, horribly annoying, but a little bit. Anyway, today didn't go well either. Today's breakfast was another dismal failure. All the boarders showed their faces in the dining hall for breakfast, but the only one who finished her meal was Kaneko. There must have been something wrong with it. All I had to do was make meals and clean. What a piece of cake, is what I thought when I accepted the job as dorm mother, but my confidence is gradually fading.
何しけた面してんだよ、この裏切り者め。
What are you brooding over, you traitor? What do you want? This guy joining me on the way to school went out of his way to come and sling verbal abuse. A few things happened in the dorm. Dealing with girls can be tough.
そういうことなら俺に聞け。 何せ俺今彼女いるもんね。
In that case, you should talk to me. That's because I have a girlfriend. Yeah. Isn't she a freshman at Sison Girls School? Sison Girls High School is a school for rich girls and it's famous even in this neighborhood. The uniform has a reputation for being cute, so fans come from far and wide just to take a look. That's creepy. That's creepy.
エリちゃんって言うんだけどさ、写真見る？
Her name is Eri-chan. Do you want to see a photo? He looks like he's about to show me, so I go along with it. Whoa, seriously, she's cute.
だろう？
Isn't she?
一緒にバンドやってんだ。エリちゃんがボーカルとベースで、俺がギター。
We're in a band together. Eri-chan's on vocals and bass, and I'm on guitar. Mambo, you could play guitar?
エリちゃんのために必死に練習した。今じゃインギー並みの早弾きだってできるぜ。
I practiced like crazy for Eri-chan. Now I can play as fast as some famous guitarist. I have no idea who that guy is. Or if it's anybody real, I don't know. Anyway, he goes off as he shows some great air guitar. Anyway, who the hell is that guy? Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm glad about the other one who doesn't know who he is.
お前さ、前の学校で自転車やってたんじゃねえの？
Hey, at your old school, you were riding bikes, weren't you? Yeah, I was. What about it?
もうやんねえわけ？でも、うちには自転車部なんてねえけど。
So you're not doing it anymore? We don't even have a cycle racing club at our school, though. Yeah, I mean, he got injured. He can't no more. Yeah, I don't do it anymore. His face seems to say it's got nothing to do with me, though.
でっかい大会で表彰台に上がったんだろ？
Didn't you get on the podium at some huge race meet? Did you hear that from Anchan?
アゲハもホタルも今度のレースは応援にくっついてくってあんちゃんに言ってたんだぜ。
Anchan told Agaha and Hotaru that they should go with him and cheer for you at the next race.
まあ一応俺もだけどな。
Well, he told me too. That made me go a bit red.
あ、勘違いすんなよ。俺はお前がブザマに負けるところを見に行くつもりだったわけで。
Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I want to go and so that I can see you lose. I want to go so that I can see you lose miserably. There we go. I get it. My brain's like, I don't understand.
別に応援なんかするつもりなかったんだか
I
らな。
wasn't planning on going so that I could cheer for you or anything. I don't know why it's like this weird fear of being like, I just want to be there for you, bro. Like, I don't get the whole shying away from just being supportive, you know? Yeah, I get it. Don't get so flustered.
アゲハのやつ悔しがってたぞ。お前のいいとこ見られなくて。
Agaha felt bad about it, that she couldn't see you at your best.
お前そういうの分かってんのか？
You knew about that, didn't you? No, I didn't know. I never thought that I would make it to the podium. Even if I knew, it was too far away for me to say, come and watch me.
なのにろくに連絡もよこさねえでよ。
Even so, you still didn't contact us. Same goes for both of us. Besides, I sent you a New Year's card every year, didn't I?
あんなコンビニで売ってるプリント済みのやつでか？
What, you mean the pre-printed ones they sell at a convenience store? You did the same thing. Anyway, your New Year's cards usually arrive at the end of January.
返してもらえるだけありがたいと思えこの。
You should just be thankful that I sent you one back, you...
おお、珍しい二人組発見。
Ooh, I found the odd couple. Hi, Agaha.
はよーす。
Morning.
どうしたのマーボー？
What's up, Mambo? He was sneakily hiding in my shadow.
別になんでもねえよ。あんま慣れ慣れしくすんなよ。エリちゃんが怒るから。
It's nothing. Don't get too friendly with me or Eri-chan will get angry.
はいはい。かわいい彼女ですもんね。
Okay. She's such a cute girlfriend, isn't she? Jokingly, Agaha deliberately keeps her distance from him as she walks. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm just not going to. He comes up from beside me and gives me a little poke in the ribs.
さっきの話、アゲハには内緒な。
That thing we were talking about just now, don't say anything to Agaha, okay? What thing?
あいつがお前のレース見に行きたがってたって話。
About the fact that she wanted to go and watch your race. Okay, I got it. It was the sort of thing that needs to be kept. Is it the sort of thing that needs to be kept a secret?
何男同士でベタベタしてんの？
Why are two guys like you getting so clingy?
ちげえよ。誰がこんなやつと。ペペ。
What do you mean? Who'd want to get near this guy? Ew, gross. You don't have to actually spit.
仲いいね。焼けちゃうわ。
You're getting along so well. I'm so jealous.
バカアゲハ。
Shut up, Agaha. Yeah, don't say weird things like that. You know. Shenanigans. Just them just two dudes doing dudes things. I don't know. I feel like it's like an old stereotype of like guys can't be near each other. You know what I mean? Like it's way more common now for guys to just like, I don't know, be more clingy. Like it's not nearly as weird anymore. Like back in the day it was like don't come within a 2-foot radius of me or whatever. But like modernly, like, you know, just like throwing an arm around a bro is not weird anymore. You know what I mean? Like once upon a time maybe so, but these days, nah, dude, definitely not. So it's like a stereotype when you see stuff like that a lot of the time. Anyway, lunchtime. Today, I didn't eat my lunchbox early. As I basked in this tiny sense of achievement and got my lunchbox out, Kotori had already disappeared from the classroom. Yeah, there she goes. As she looked out into the hallway, she was moving back and forth as if she was saying, should I go forward? No, maybe I should go back. Are you waiting for me? Letting out a cry not really befitting a pretty little girl, Kotori fanned herself with her left hand as if to calm herself down.
脅かさないでくれる？
Don't scare me like that. Sorry, I only wanted to ask you, that's all. You're going, aren't you, to the garage?
ええ、そうよ。別にあなたを待ってたわけじゃないけど。
Yes, I am. It's not like I'm waiting for you, though. Okay, shall we go? I push her wheelchair on the way.
勝手に押さないで。
Hey, don't you start pushing me. Here, hold this, would you? I passed my bag to her.
こら、人を荷物置きみたいにするな。
Hey, don't treat me like baggage storage. Well, he's pushing you. Don't you want to be nice? Like, just go with it, woman. It's adorable. Don't make it so painful.
誰もいないみたい。
Looks like nobody's here. The garage was open, but there was no one here. For some reason, it felt like Amane was always here, so it was a little surprising. The air conditioning's not turned on, so it's quite humid. What should we do?
どうするって言われても。
Why are you asking me? Kotori subconsciously put her hand on her stomach. Shall we have our lunch here? I made one for you too, Kotori. Well, I mean leftovers from breakfast. Kotori didn't come to have any breakfast this morning, so she shouldn't have any way of knowing what food was served.
それも寮母の仕事なの？
Is this also part of your job as dorm mother? No, I'm just meddling. 1, 2, 3. I put the three lunchboxes on the workbench. I went to the trouble of making one for Amane too, though. The air conditioner isn't turned on in the garage, so if I just leave it here, it'll go bad. There's a refrigerator, so I decided to put it in there. If I leave a note on the desk, she'll realize and then eat it, won't she? Could you turn on the electric fan? Kotori turns on the nearby electric fan.
エアコンは？
But what about the air conditioner? I can't find the remote control. It's probably buried somewhere. We open up the lunchboxes in the place that gets the full force of the wind from the electric fan.
何これ？カレー？
What is this, curry? This morning's breakfast was curry. You don't like it?
普通カレーをお弁当にするかな？
Do people usually put curry in their lunchboxes? You can complain after you've eaten it. Kotori has a meek look on her face as she moves the cold curry towards her mouth.
冷めてても美味しい。
It's tasty even though it's cold. It would be good if we had a microwave, though. For a little while, the two of us quietly eat our curry. I got a big old cut on my finger, dude. It's like really, really big. Surprisingly so. Wonder how I did that. Probably, it looks fresh. It's probably from today, moving boxes. Anyway, today there is no sheet covering the glider. I gazed at the simple, sleek shape of its body and thought it was beautiful. I imagined the aircraft cutting through the air as it flew. When riding a bicycle, your greatest enemy is the wind.
Huh?
Kotori's face seemed to say, what is this guy talking about all of a sudden? But I carry on regardless. The worst thing is when you have a headwind, while it is constantly pushing you back, you have to keep pedaling. I faced the wind coming through the electric fan set too strong, and I remember that feeling a little. The feeling of the wind gradually draining my stamina. That's why when we ride a bicycle, we try to find ways to reduce air resistance. Not just the shape of the bike or the helmet. During the race, we cooperate with the members of the other teams and form a group while riding. I thought that when riding a bike, it would be better if the wind wouldn't blow. But this thing rides the wind to fly.
ジェットエンジンもプロペラもないのにね。
Even though it doesn't have a jet engine or a propeller. If we hadn't actually seen it flying that day, even with the real thing right in front of us, we wouldn't be able to imagine it flying. Speaking of which, Kotori, how do you know about gliders? She didn't really know that much about them. That was the first time she had seen a real one.
別にちょっと本で読んだだけ。
I don't really. I just read about them in a book. Somehow it seems like it's hard for her to answer, so I decided not to go any further. Speaking of books, there's a bookshelf here lined with many books. Looking closely, they're all related to gliders or aircraft. I pick one up and take a look inside. It's all in English, I can't read it. It's not like my grades in English are bad, but with the level of English I have from studying at school, reading academic papers is really tough. It seems like Kotori is the same.
こっちの本は写真がいっぱい載ってるわ。
This book has lots of photos. There was a book that had many photos of gliders like a catalog. There are so many different types. The shape of the wings, the size, and so on. Even with gliders, there are so many different varieties.
見てこれ。
Look at this. What's happening in the picture? What's happening in this
山の
picture?
上を飛んでる。
It's flying over a mountain. It looks so natural that I didn't really notice, but the glider was flying high enough that it could look down on the mountain. They can fly that high? Kotori and I, without realizing, both look at the glider sitting over there. With its wings removed, we couldn't really grasp the full size of it, but at a glance it didn't seem all that different from the glider in the photo. Amane had said that it could go above the clouds. I wonder what it feels like to fly through the sky.
きっと最高の気分よ。上昇気流に乗って飛ぶなんてまるで鳥になったみたいじゃない。
It probably feels amazing to fly on the rising air currents. Would be just like being a bird, wouldn't it? After we finished our lunch boxes, we stayed for a little longer. We spent the time looking at books and admiring the glider. It's interesting that Amane never showed up. When the bell rang, it felt like the time to enjoy ourselves was over, and I felt a little sad.
何かしらこれ。
What's this? Just as we were about to go back to the classroom, Kotori noticed a photo frame on Amane's desk. I wonder what this is. The weird thing was that there was a photo frame but no photo inside. An empty photo frame had been placed there. In her case, she probably managed to lose just the photo inside. I mean, maybe. Probably not. What's up?
なんでもないわ。行きましょう。ここ暑くてたまんない。
Huh? No, it's nothing. Let's go. It's hot in here. I can't stand it. Obviously not really what she was upset about. The moment we stepped out of the sauna-like garage, the air outside felt cool. Well, that proves that they can have like a moment, you know, like a decent moment. Whew. It proves it can be done. A civil conversation. It proves that it can be done. Ah, I'm worn out. It's easy to say clean the bathroom, but I never thought it would be such a big job. Why would you think that? Plus, there's no air conditioning in there, so I'm sweltering. The trouble is, if I don't do this every day during the summertime, then mold will start growing. It's not just about hygiene, it's kind of gross too. There's no way you could take a bath when there's mold growing in there. My cell phone rang. On the display, it showed home. Hello?
もしもし葵私だけど
Hello, Ai. It's me. What's up?
別にどうしてるかと思ってどう順調
Nothing really. Just wondering how you're doing. How is it? Is it going smoothly? I can't say it's going smoothly. I didn't think much of it when I accepted, but it turned out to be pretty tough.
そりゃそうよ楽な仕事なんてないのよ
Yes, of course. There's no such thing as an easy job. That's not true. There are easy jobs. I've never had one, but there are easy jobs out there. Going to school every day and doing the work of a dorm mother is wearing me out. I realized this after only a few days. This is a lot of hard work.
でも今はその方がいいんじゃない
But now that's better for you, isn't it? Why?
嫌なこと思い出さずに済むじゃない
You could do it without dredging up old memories. Well, if that's what you think, don't talk about it.
それともママが恋しくなった
Or do you miss your mama? A mother like you? She's the kind of mother who loves teasing her son. But, did she get me to do this dorm mother job because she was worried about me? Probably. I'm so busy that I don't have time to dwell on things. Exactly, see? She knew. She knew, dude. I think she knew. Speaking in the hallway, the other boarders may have been able to hear me, so I went back to my room. We continue our silly parent-child conversation. My mother is a fiercely independent person and a hard-working career woman. Many things have been happening until recently. Well, they're still going on now, and we were living separately. I'm a bit too old to be missing my mother, though. Alright, that's not true. There is no age requirement on missing a parent, alright? It's enough for me to just speak to her from time to time. Like I said, there's not an age thing. Like, oh, I'm not allowed to miss or care about my family because I'm insert age here. That's not how that works.
学校の方はどうなの？
How's school? It's going fine. Agaha is there too.
あげはちゃん、綺麗になったわね。この間久しぶりに会ってびっくりしちゃった。
Agaha-chan, she's gotten so pretty, hasn't she? Recently I saw her for the first time in a while and I was so surprised. Me too. She's like a proper girl now.
あら、そんな風に余裕ぶっこいてられるのも今のうちよ。
She won't be able to think about her like that for much longer.
あげはちゃん、これからもっともっと綺麗になるわよ。愛想もいいし、気遣いもできるし、間違いなくモテるわね。
Agaha-chan will get even more pretty from now on, won't she? She's outgoing and considerate, so she'll be very popular with the boys, no doubt about it. Geez, cut it out. What are you talking about?
あらやだ、口が悪いわね。誰に似たのかしら。
Now, you have such a sharp tongue. You remind me of someone. Yeah, you. Would a mother usually tell her son to go chasing after girls?
それじゃ、頑張ってね。トラブルがあったらすぐ言いなさい。
Okay then, good luck. If you have any trouble, call me. Sure.
それから、もし仕事が大変だったら、寮生に負担してもらってもいいのよ。
Also, if you're finding it tough to do all the housework, you can ask the boarders to help you.
超格安物件なんだから、そのくらいしてもらわないと。
The rent in that place is super cheap, so they should help with things like that. I'll think about it.
それじゃ、おやすみ、葵ちゃん。
Okay, good night, Aoi-chan. Yeah, as if that would go easily. They'd be like, oh, hell no! I'm just saying, that just sounds like a lot of drama that would not work out well. If it was me, I'd be like, nah, I'll just sleep less. I'll just find a way to get it done. Don't worry about it. For whatever I had to do to get out of asking somebody. She called me that on purpose because she knows I don't like it, and then ended the call. My father is the one who chose to call me Aoi, but it's kind of a girl's name, so I was often teased about it, and it seems like she still remembers. I put down my phone and take a look at the boarding students' roster. As for the boarders' jobs, cleaning their own room is a given, but then there's cleaning the hallways and entrance as well as the dining hall. On the other hand, my jobs are to prepare breakfast and dinner, clean up afterwards, clean the bathroom and the garden, and other miscellaneous chores. It is actually pretty tough. Maybe I should ask for some help. Even if I can just go to them to clean the bathroom, that would be a real lifesaver. Huh? Yuka. Yes! Yuka, who is in the dining hall, the tall 4th grader and the one who's been here the longest, seems surprised as I call out to her.
何かしら、水瀬くん。
What is it, Aoi? I like how they're all so jumpy around him. They act like he's like preying on them. He's like really laid back for, you know, he's not like super aggressive or like a pervert or anything. He's just like really, really chill. And they're all so jumpy. It's like he's a monster. Can I ask you a question? I lay out the roster as I was looking out on the table where Yuka's sitting. Yuka, who should be used to seeing this, looks at it with curiosity. Kotori doesn't have her name on the job roster. Starting with Kaneko, then Yuka, there are 4 names, but Kotori's name is not there.
だってあの子。
I was about to say, isn't it obvious why she's not on that roster there, bro? Yuka looks towards the dining hall door as she speaks.
足が不自由だから。
She's disabled. I see, so that's why. Thank you.
いえ。
It's okay. I was about to say, isn't it obvious why? Like, don't you think it's obvious? I'm not saying, like, if you're disabled, you can't do things, but, like, there's, like, I don't know, there's, like, a balance of, like, do you want to do things? Like, should, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you want to? Should I try to find things that I would be helpful for you to do? Like, I don't know, like, it's just, you know, it's kind of a up in the air subject. Anyway, the scorching sun comes shining in. The cicadas are so loud I'm going deaf. I'm turning down my headphones. Up on the roof with nothing to block the sunlight, it feels even more like I'm being burned. Today is hot as hell. I grumble as I wipe the sweat from my brow. There we go, we got past whatever at least the clacking noise was. It's already 7 o'clock. It's just before the peak of summer and the sun is finally shining in full strength. Today is Saturday, so there's no school. Now is my chance to get some of the dorm mother work done. This morning I've climbed up on the roof and I'm fixing leaks. Wow, you're a handyman too. This building is in pretty bad condition. There we go. Alright, all the noise now is gone. I can turn it back up. I heard that the owner who collapsed a few days ago and who is also the caretaker here is an elderly woman. Because it was a girls' dorm with no guys around, there was quite a few places that had been left damaged. This place is so old that I can't help wondering if originally it was aiming to be registered as a cultural heritage site. The owner, who was a widow, opened the manor house as a student dorm before I was born. Which means that when we are calling this place the Witch's Mansion, students from Keifu Academy were already living here. Since then, the owner has been taking care of the boarding students like they were her own children or grandchildren. However, since the redevelopment plans were brought forward, land prices in Kazagura have been rising. The owner's sons were hoping to let go of the place, and that one of the reasons why I was brought here to take on the dorm mother's job is such a hurry. It might be hard to avoid getting involved in those kinds of adult matters, so I will just quietly get on with the work that I have to do. Alright, that should about do it. Finishing the repairs on the roof, I climbed down the ladder. Okay, next is a small duck. Hat, who was pecking at the soil, had come closer to where I was going to put my feet as I climbed down. This is kind of besides the point, but ducks eat weeds and bugs, so it seems like if I just leave him to it, he'll maintain the garden. However, he will also peck at the flowers and so on too, so the person doing the gardening needs to watch out for that. What's up, Pat? Where's your buddy? I have no idea what he's saying, but he definitely looks bored. Sorry, but I've got work to do. When I get back, I'll give you a bath. The door to Kotori's room was closed. I couldn't hear any sound, and there was no signs that she was awake. Still asleep, huh? Still asleep, huh, sleepyhead? Hey, Kotori. Wake up, Alul. Well, hey, Miss Alul. Shut up! What do you want? I'm gonna do some shopping. Do you want to come with me? Is that the reason why you disturbed my peaceful sleep? Her face seemed to say, if this was America and I sued you, you would lose. What is that supposed to mean? Hey, what the hell is that supposed to mean, man? What about it being America? You're oversleeping. It's a nice sunny day, so let's go outside. Why do I have to do your shopping with you? It's shopping for the dorm. You eat too, don't you? I'll get ready, so hold on a minute. I would absolutely have gone alone. I absolutely would have gone alone, mostly because I wouldn't want to have to ask her to come with me. I'm like, what if she hates it? I'm not going to ask. Hi there, hey. Seeing Agaha give a great big wave, Kotori makes an annoyed face. Hi, Agaha. What's up, Aoi? Morning, Kotori. What the hell is Kotori's problem with Agaha anyway? Man, what's her problem? Agaha's so nice. What's her deal? Morning. Hey, why is she here? You said we were going to go do shopping for the dormitory. It's fine. There's something I need help with. I had planned from the beginning to meet up with Agaha. That's because I want her as a special advisor for today's work. Right, let's go. Let's go. Man, what the hell's Kotori's problem anyway? Agaha's so nice. We arrived at the underground street of the shopping mall. There are many stylish shops in the shopping arcade, and there's also a large supermarket. I push Kotori along in her wheelchair and go around buying the food with Agaha. What do you need? First, we need chicken thighs, red peppers, green peppers, onions. Kotori looks like she still doesn't agree with the fact that Agaha's with us. She looks at me like she's trying to put a curse on me. I got Agaha to think of a menu for me for tonight's dinner. Seems like the things that I make aren't the kind of things that girls like. So why do I need to come with you? Because you can carry the bags? Solid. Kotori is doing a good job carrying the green supermarket basket. Agaha and I keep slinging more and more ingredients into the basket. I feel like she just needs the social interaction is really the reason. Like, you just kind of need to get out and learn to not be such a jerk. So we're giving you, like, a social training. Paprika powder, whole tomatoes, cured ham, then there's... Don't sling them in like that. I'll get some mineral water. Ah, it's so heavy. Hey, can I buy some potato chips? No. No. Oh, some other kind of chip. I remember these.
後でお金払うから一緒に入れといて。
You're so stingy. I'll pay for him later. Put him in the basket, will you? She slings him in. Also, we'll soon be out of rice, so let's buy some over here. With all the ingredients in it for all of the borders, before we knew it, the basket that Kotori was carrying was full.
人をカートみたいにするな。
Don't treat me like a shopping cart! As she complained, Kotori was very careful not to let the contents of the basket fall out. Don't drop anything.
ちくしょう。
Damn it.
ハバネさんは欲しいものない？
Anything you want, Kotori?
アイス。
Ice cream. Today's shopping is being paid for with the operating costs of the dorm, so we can't really buy things we don't need. Having said that, she is helping me out. You can get whatever that is.
もっと高級なのがいい。労働と報酬が釣り合わないわ。
What? I want something of a higher quality than that. The work I put in and the reward I get aren't balanced. Have it your way. I decided to treat her to strawberry Haagen-Dazs with my own money. I know it says Haagen-Dazs, but obviously it's, you know, it's like saying like an off-brand of McDonald's so that you avoid saying the actual McDonald's so you don't get sued for a game. It's like that. But obviously it's meaning Haagen-Dazs, obviously, with my own money. He bought her nice ice cream because he cares. Is this one okay?
そうだね。
Yeah, that's okay. We finished at the cash register. The food costs about 50% more than usual, but tonight is a special occasion. Aw, geez, I forgot to buy ground meat.
そんなの使わない
We
よ。
don't need it. It's for tomorrow. It's a pain to have to keep going to buy food all the time, you know? I leave them behind and go back to the store. I search for the meat in the ground meat section. If I can, I want to get one with a discount sticker, as I thought there aren't any at this time. The cost for the boarder's food is paid on a monthly basis. The dormitory is run as kind of a hobby by the owner, so it's just a rough estimate, but there is a upper limit established as part of the rent agreement. The dormitory meals follow the creed of as cheap as possible, as tasty as possible. So basically it means cheap and just try and survive, good luck, lol. I look at the packs of beef that are lined up on the shelf. 29.80 yen for 100 grams. This is a supermarket that celebrity women come to, so sometimes the prices for the ingredients are pretty steep. It's okay once in a while, so I'd like everyone to eat this kind of meat. I murmured to myself.
これでいいのかな。
Hey, that's a face I recognize. I only recognize her because she's on the cover. She's one of the 5 romanceable options. Is this one okay, I wonder? A girl reaches across from the side and slings the luxury marbled 29.80 yen for 100 grams meat into her basket.
これじゃ足りないかな。ビーフカレーっていうくらいだもん
Will
ね。
this be enough? We are having beef curry after all. The girl who took the pack showed signs of hesitation, but continued to sling more and more of the luxury marbled meat into the basket. In the end, she took everything that was on the shelf.
これでよしっと。
That'll do it. Alright. Are you going to use luxury marbled beef in a curry? Not only that, it's thinly sliced.
What?
Huh? I was surprised to have said that on the inside, but because of the shock, I came right out and said it out loud. I mean, if you're making curry, they have meat for curry over there, see?
そんな大きいのカレー食べるときに見ないですよ。
But when you eat curry, you don't see such big pieces of meat, do you? Well, when you stew meat this size, it becomes more tender and much smaller. If you use that kind of thin meat, the fat will melt away, and you won't have a trace of it left. Huh? In her basket was about a kilogram of marbled meat to be used in sukiyaki, some sort of food. I don't know. Are you going to stew all that into a curry? What a waste of good meat. As I stare at the basket, she looks at me in disbelief. I'm so sorry. She seems embarrassed as she said that and moved over to the fresh fish section. Did I scare her off?
シーフードカレーっていうのもあるんだし、お魚も買った方がいいかな。
There's also seafood curry, so maybe I should buy some fish too? Well, probably you like freaking flipped out on her, dude. Like, she said as I watched from a distance her throwing sea bream with the head and tail still on into the basket while I reach for a pack of the cheap pork and beef ground meat. Anyway, probably scared her off because you ripped her face off. Yum.
美味しい。
It's delicious.
ハバネさん、ストロベリー派なんだ。私はクッキー&クリームかな。
Tori, you like strawberry, don't you? I like cookies and cream.
よ。
Oh, really?
おいし
Is
い
it tasty?
もち
Of
ろんよ。
course.
ね
Say.
え、いや、
No.
まだ何も言ってないんだけど。
Haven't said anything yet.
一口だけでいいか
One spoonful, just one spoonful.
いやよ、スプーン一つしかないんだから。
No, there's only one spoon.
いいじゃん、女同士なんだから。
It's okay, we're both girls. Why is that the line? Why is the line of, like, gender has no, like, it doesn't affect germs, at least to my knowledge, in my opinion. Like for me and my family, it's like if you share blood, or not even then actually, because it's like for me and my sisters, we might, you know, we might like share, like, you know, I don't know, like it might come up of like, oh hey, I'm out of a spoon, can I use yours or whatever? Like, sure, that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like it's kind of just like a germ thing on a personal basis, because my mom is like a pretty kind of a germaphobe, you know, and so we would never do any kind of sharing going on with my mom nearby, because she would not be happy. But my sisters and I are like, whatever, we're all blood, we're siblings, it's fine. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's okay, we're both girls.
やったらやよ。
No means no.
ケチン
Don't
ボ
be so stingy. Just silent, staring at each other.
わかったわよ。一口だけよ。
Alright, just one spoonful.
はーい。ハバネさんありがとう。
Yay, thanks, Katori.
はーん。私のハーゲンダッツ。
My Haagen-Dazs.
おいしい。
It's delicious. What are you doing?
いえ。
Ah! I just finished paying and had come back, and Katori was letting Agaha eat her ice cream. I felt like I'd seen something I wasn't supposed to see.
これは違うのよ。この子がどうしても食べたいって言うから一口だけ食べさせてあげただけで。
It's not what it looks like. She said that she really wanted to eat it, so I just let her have one spoonful. I see. Well, it's nice that you're getting along.
違うったら。
No, it's not like that.
ストロベリーもいいな。ねえねえ、もう一口。
Strawberry's nice too. Hey, can I have another spoonful?
もう終わり。だって私の分がなくなるもん。
No, that's all. There won't be any left for me. Blushing as she spoke, Katori continued to wolf down the Haagen-Dazs. Okay, let's go. Here, take this back. Bam. Ah!
重いんだけど。
Hey, this is heavy.
私も手伝うよ。アイスのお礼。
I'll help too, to say thank you for the ice cream. I push Katori's wheelchair and we leave the shopping mall. Nice.
ねえ、これどうやって切るの？
That was damn near civil. Like, for an outing with more than 2 people, that was really civil. Like, comparatively, I can't believe it. It was like they were all friends for a minute. That's exciting. Hey, how do you cut this? With a knife? Sorry. Pass that to me. I'll show you how it's done. Her face seems to say, I get annoyed when people get on their high horse, as she obediently passes me the knife. In a way that Katori could see easily, I cut the vegetables. You get it, he's cutting vegetables. I don't need to read that. Like this.
こっちのピーマン
How
は？
about this green pepper? Wouldn't it be best to cut it down the middle?
わかった。やってみる。
Okay, I'll try that. We had come back to the dormitory and had begun cooking in the dining hall. I got Katori, who couldn't reach the stove, to cut the vegetables. I'm cooking while Agaha helps and tells me how to do it. Hey, this is pretty easy.
でしょ？野菜切って鶏もも肉と一緒に煮込むだけだもんね。
See, you just cut the vegetables and stew them with the chicken thighs, said Agaha, who had brought the recipe. Some sort of chicken stew of some kind. I couldn't guess what kind of food it would be from just the name, but it is really easy to make. First, you grill the chicken thighs and fry them with the cut vegetables, and after that, add the canned tomato and broth and leave it to stew. I would rather eat one of my own limbs than eat anything in there, by the way, just as a thought. It's a stew that doesn't need to be done precisely. That's the main dish. Next, we prepare the salad and the soup. I'm still eating nothing on this table.
わわ。
Even as Hat walks around, her feet quacking, Katori doesn't seem to notice, as she is quietly immersed in what she's doing. She's really concentrating.
案外熱中するタイプだね。
Surprisingly, she's the enthusiastic type, isn't she? Despite complaining at first, once she gets started, she becomes very serious.
均等に切るのは至難の技ね。
It's quite hard to cut them evenly. Well, it doesn't need to be exact. If there's a variety in the thickness, it gives a difference in texture.
不均等に切るのね。
Cut them,
わかった
cut them
わ。
unevenly. Got it. She said as she thought about this and that and stared intently, cutting the vegetables unevenly. Started intentionally cutting them unevenly. I guess that's what people look like when they get serious. Aga, how does this soup taste to you?
ちょっと薄いかな。
The flavor's a little too mild. I'll add salt and pepper. And so the preparations for dinner continued smoothly. That's like way too much work. All that chopping and vegetables and stewing and whatnot. Sounds like a lot of work. Not a fan.
わあ、美味しそう。
Wow, it looks so tasty. One after another, the boarders come into the dining hall, and seeing the food on the table and how different it was to usual, they were surprised at first. There is a general idea of meal times for the boarders. I usually make meals at the same time, and the time that usually comes to the dining hall is not really set. It's okay if you come late, and it's okay if you don't eat. That's why we often eat at different times. This is the first time since I came here that we've all gathered at the same time like this. Today was the only time that I told them in advance. Okay, everyone, please take a seat. You too, Agaha.
お邪魔します。
Excuse me.
なんかすごいね、今日のご飯。
Today's dinner looks amazing.
ねえ、もう食べていい？
Hey, can we start eating? I'm
お腹
starving.
ペコペコなんだけど。
Sorry, Kaneko, I kind of talked over you. Hey, can we start eating? I'm starving. Go ahead, enjoy your meal. The boarders, looking at each other, cautiously move the food towards their mouths. I like how they all act like he's like a monster or something. Like, look, it's a weird situation, but it's not his fault. And he's very, he's a really chill guy. Like, he's a really innocent dude. He's not perverse, he's not aggressive, he's not mean, he doesn't have a temper. He's just chill, alright? Like, and obviously very good at housework and such things. Like, you know, so like, why do they all fear him so?
美味しい。
It's delicious.
本当だ。
It
美味しい。
really is delicious. I can hear the word delicious coming from the boarders. It's true, it really is tasty. That stew. I was the one who made it, but I didn't know how it would taste, and I imagined that it wouldn't be very good. It was different to the Western or Chinese food that I usually make, in that I normally don't use spices that make it easy to understand the flavor. The meat stewed in the tomato soup was tender and was surprisingly refreshing. Most importantly, the flavor of the meat had really been drawn out, so I had no complaints at all about the taste. It's the kind of thing that you can eat on a hot summer's day when you don't have much of an appetite.
こりゃいけるわ。
I can't imagine, eating different foods for different temperatures. That just sounds weird to me. I just eat whatever. Like, the only thing I can think of that I would want to eat or drink because of a temperature is hot chocolate. Like, hot chocolate makes me physically warmer. Like, I can feel my body temperature increase because then I get really overheated. So it's like, the only exception I can even think of that I wouldn't want to eat based on a temperature is hot chocolate. During the summer, I'm not drinking hot chocolate. It better be darn cold in the winter before I drink hot chocolate, because my internal body temperature is about 1,000, so I'm always overheated. But regardless, that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, I can't imagine any kind of food that would or would not get eaten based upon a temperature. That seems funny to me. Anyway, this is great.
サラダもどうぞ食べてくださいね。
Please have some salad too. The salad served in a big bowl was divided between everyone. There were cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, and also avocado and mozzarella cheese. Even though it was just an elaborate salad, again, the reaction was...
このサラダも美味しいね。
Salad's delicious.
なんか洒落てるし。
It's kind of fancy. Ryoko, who is in the second grade like me, and also Sane? Something or other. The third year with the trademark glasses, both seem to really like it.
アゲハちゃんプロデュースだよ。
This was produced by me, Agaha-chan. Everyone made a face that kind of showed they knew that. The truth is that today's meal was made under the advice of Miss Himegi here.
それでアゲハが来てたん
So
だ。
that's why Agaha's here.
自分が食べたい料理を作ってもらっただけなんだけどね。
I thought that I'd get him to make the food that I like for me. By the way, it seems that Agaha and Ryoko were friends from before. The thing is, it seems the food that I made didn't really go down well with everyone. Apart from Kaneko, all the boarders looked away for a moment awkwardly.
美味しくないわけじゃないのよ。
It's not that it didn't taste good.
そうそう。でも量が多いっていうか。
Yeah, but the portions were very big. Just don't have as much. Just don't have as much. Problem solved. Anyway, whatever. It's whatever. Yeah. That's why if there's something you want to say, please talk to me about it, okay? It's a little scary, but I thought I'd try to talk to them about it.
なんていうか、一色なのよ。
How should I put this? It's all the same color. I can't even start to address that one.
あ、わかる。すっごいわかります、ゆかさん。
Yes, I know what you mean. That's exactly it, Yuka.
けど今日の料理はカラフ
Is
ル。
that really a necessity? Like, it's not pretty enough. Your food is not pretty enough for me. And I find that insulting. I'm not eating anything on this table. Like, really? Anyway, but today's food is colorful. It sure is. There's red, green, yellow, white, and many other colors, and it looks vivid and colorful. I have no color requirements for my food. That's all I'm just gonna say. I'll leave it at that. The food I usually make is ginger pork equals brown. Fried rice equals brown. Curry equals yellow. Yakisoba equals brown. That pasta equals red. And so on. But it's all basically comprised of a single color.
葵くんの料理も豪快で嫌いじゃないけどね。
Aoi's food is hearty, and I quite like it. Thank you, Kaneko.
美味しくないわけじゃないのよ。でもほら最近暑くて食欲もそんなにないし。
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't taste good, but you see, recently it's been really hot, and we don't have much of an appetite. Imagine heat affecting an appetite.
途中で飽きちゃう。
So we get tired of it halfway through. Everyone's really kind, aren't they? Are they? They really care about my feelings. Do they? Just because of that, I was unnecessarily worried. For a guy like me who went on a sports-focused boys school and lived together with his dad in a kind of bachelor pad, this was always enough. I never even thought about the color of the food, because it doesn't matter. Somehow it seems that in a girl's dorm, this kind of thing is important. It's really not, though.
でもこれ本当に美味しい
But
よ。
this is really delicious.
おかわりしたいく
Can I
ら
have
い。
seconds? Everyone seems satisfied. It feels like this is the most they've opened up to me so far. If I'm gonna say it, now's my chance. Can I just say something? I stand up and get everyone's attention. Please listen as you eat. This is about the boarders' chores. Would it be alright to increase them a little? I'm a student too, so it's pretty rough for me. For example, if I could just get you guys to clean the bathroom, that'd be a really big help. Everyone looked at each other as if they were trying to figure out what the others were thinking. To be honest, no one's gonna be happy about increasing their chores. But...
わかった。
Okay, I understand. As Yuka, the oldest, responded, the others nodded in agreement.
水瀬くんが大変なの見ていてわかってるか
It
ら。
must be tough for Aoi. You can tell that just by looking.
実はちょっと気になってまし
The
た。
truth is, I was kind of worried about it.
屋根の雨漏りも直してくれたし
He
ね。
even fixed the leaky roof. In return, I will try harder than ever to make good food for you.
こんな美味しいご飯毎日食べられる
We
ん
can
だ。
eat this kind of delicious food every day.
いいなあ、涼子。私もここに住もうかな。
Sounds good, doesn't it, Ryoko? I might live here too.
それだけでいいの
Is that all we have to do? That and one other thing. This is what I really wanted to say. I think that we should get Kotori to do some things too. Kotori, who was sitting at the end of the table, the furthest away from everyone, who looked uncomfortable while she ate, was surprised to hear her name called. Everybody looked around at Kotori.
でもハバネさんは
But Kotori is... She has a walking disability, so she has a walking disability, but she can use her hands. There are things that she can do.
今日の料理だって手伝ってくれたんだよね。
Like today's dinner, she helped us with that.
あなたたちが無理やり付き合わせただけよ。
Yeah, but only because you guys made me do it. This had a big impact on everyone who just until now had been eating the food and saying how delicious it was. They looked at her like they were impressed, but Kotori seemed kind of embarrassed. Thanks to Kotori helping us, we were able to get the dinner preparations done easily. If that's the case, then maybe we can add another chore. I don't dislike cooking, but to prepare food for several people is physically quite demanding. If that's okay with Kotori, could you help me prepare the meals?
別にいいけど、そのくらいなら。
Yeah, I guess, if that's what it's like. Thank you. I say, while Kotori looks away and quietly nods without saying anything. It's a little different to the other chores, but in order to avoid being unfair, from now on I want Kotori to help out where she can. Everyone still had their reservations about the whole thing, so for now they just quietly looked at each other. Even so, until now, Kotori and the other boarders had quite a distant relationship. However, I'm the one who understands the situation the least, or rather, the one who understands it the most.
賛成。
Well, which is it? Do you understand it a lot or not at all? Like, his saying something and then not saying something at the same time is really annoying. He's like, I love the color green, but also I hate the color green. You know what I mean? It's like, well, do you hate it or like it? Like, it makes no sense at all. It's just like, it's like saying a sentence just so you can say a sentence, which is not good, which is weird. Like, just don't speak if you have nothing to say. Anyway, excuse me. Kaneko raised her hand and the others followed.
それができるんならすごくいいと思うわ。
If she can do that, it'd be really good.
私もそう思います、ゆかさん。
I think so too, Yuka.
私前からちょっと変だなって思ってました。
I always thought it was a little strange. Yeah, I'm sure you all did. So from tomorrow, let's do our best.
こちらこそよろし
You,
く、寮母さん。
you too, dorm mother.
小鳥ちゃんもよろしくね。
You too, Kotori. Kotori was moody until the end, but she kept herself from shouting abuse at me, which I know she's good at, and seemed to understand what I was trying to do. Yeah, high fives all around, everybody. Thanks for today, Agaha. You really helped me out.
いいって。葵が困ってる時、私が助ける。普通なことでしょ。
Don't mention it. When you're in trouble, I'll come to your rescue. That's how it always is, right? Same goes for you, too. Hat came waddling from down the corridor.
おお、アヒルさん、どうしたの？見送りに来てくれた
Oh,
の？
Mr. Duck, what's up? Have you come to see me off?
わが。
Hat flapped his wings towards Agaha. Maybe he's saying thanks for helping Kotori. Those are his feelings as her housemate.
じゃあ、部屋に戻ったら伝えて。今日は楽しかったねって。
Okay, tell her this when you go back to her room. I had fun today.
わー。
The way he replied made it seem like he completely understood what Agaha had said, and Hat wiggled his tail as he waddled off.
かわいい。
He's so cute. Okay, take care on your way back.
またね。
Sure, see you later.
ハット、どこ行ってたの？はい、おやつのキュウリ。
Hat, where did you go? Okay, here's a cucumber snack.
かー。ねえ、聞いてハット。今日ね、私ご飯作るの手伝ったのよ。
Hey, listen, Hat. Today I helped make dinner.
鶏肉のなんとか煮込みって言うんだけど、みんな美味しいって言ってた。
It was something or other style chicken stew. Everyone said it was delicious.
私も食べたけど、本当に美味しかったの。
I ate it too, and it really was delicious.
すごいでしょ。
Isn't that great?
もうすぐ今日が終わっちゃう。
Today will soon be over,
楽しかったね。
but it was fun. Aww. That's adorable. That's adorable, and also a great place to call it. Because, like, time-wise, it's so beautiful. We could go another few minutes, but, like, as a place to stop, though, it's so perfect. Although maybe we could go to, like, right after his little dream sequence here. He's huffing and puffing, he can't breathe. I push down on the heavy pedals and the gears creak. I worry that the chain, which is stretched to its limit, will snap and fly off at some point. However, there's no time to think about that during the hill climb. Damn it, I can't do this anymore. This sport is just way too severe. I'm not proud of this, but I decided not to pull myself through any pointless hardship. I don't enjoy putting in a lot of effort. Just ahead of me is something fun, so that's why I can do my best. At that time, I was getting closer and closer to it. Ah, finally, the top of the slope. As I climbed to the top of the slope, the view all of a sudden opened up. Below me is the town, spreading far into the distance and the steep downhill road. Finally, the time has come for my reward. I lower my posture, kick down on the pedal, and accelerate in the blink of an eye. In spite of the headwind that would have been so problematic on flat ground, I cut through it like a bullet. On a downhill slope, speeds can reach close to 80 kilometers per hour. I don't know how much kilometers is, but, like, I can tell you that I've hit 45 on a mountain bike going down a hill, like, miles per hour, so, you know, pretty stinking fast on a bike. Anyway, if that were a car driving through the city, I would breeze past it as it overtook other cars. If I came off my bike now, I'll be seriously injured. No joke, I would even die. After all, when we race, we are completely exposed. The road is winding and still not flat. At high speeds, when I entrust my body to the inertia, the wheels bounce on the uneven road surface. Strangely, I don't feel any fear. I only feel overwhelming exhilaration. Nevertheless, I mustn't lose concentration. It's not like I haven't predicted that there might be an unforeseen circumstances. Even so. Ah, that's how he got injured. He was flying down a hill at like 45 miles an hour and crashed, more or less, you know. When I opened my eyes, I thought that I was on that hospital bed. Sure, there was an unfamiliar ceiling, but I soon realized that I wasn't in a hospital. It's my room, huh? I still don't really feel like this is my room, though. I lie on my side of the bed and vacantly try to recall what happened in my dream. I forgot most of it from the shock of waking up, but I had an idea of what kind of dream it was. Ah, yes. I pull the alarm clock towards myself. 11:42. It's noon already. Even though it's Sunday, I've slept too long. On Sunday, I don't need to prepare breakfast. As for the jobs like fixing leaks and other jobs that can be done quickly, I did most of them yesterday. A Sunday with nothing to do. I get out of bed and look down at my knee. There is a scar, fresh from surgery. It was the first time I'd seen it in a while, to dream about that time. In the last few days, because of how busy I'd been and a change of scenery, I'd gone without having any unnecessary thoughts. Things that had only calmed down a little, but I had let my guard down emotionally. Somehow I felt strangely sluggish and I didn't feel like getting out of bed. There was someone knocking on the door. Aoi, are you awake? Hey! It's Sane, I think is how you say that, the 3rd grade boarder. She's quite a cheerful person, but I always feel like she's keeping her distance from me. They all are, it's really weird. Despite that now... Aoi, wake up! Hey! Aoi! I'm awake. At first, I answer, then get out of bed, and then moved over to the door. What is it? Well, you have a visitor. While thinking it was strange for Sane to get so excited, I quickly got changed and left the room. That is puzzling. I know I said I'd call the episode, but I'm intrigued. I look outside the entrance to see...
Yo, Aoi.
Oh, look at that. Hey, hi, Aoi. Anchan. When she said I had a visitor, she meant Anchan. The boarders poked their heads out from behind the wall of the hallway and looked at Anchan from a distance. It's just like Anchan to be completely unfazed by this weird spectacle.
これ、寮の皆さんと食べてくれ。
Here, eat this with the boarders. Anchan said as he passed me a welcoming present. What's this? Some sort of food?
ご近所さんからもらったお土産なんだが、うちじゃ食い切れなくて
We
な。
were given this by someone in the neighborhood, but we couldn't eat all of it. Oh, is this what I think it is? Anchan had always been popular with the girls, especially with much older ladies. He often received presents from them, particularly from the elderly ladies. It's possible that he could become like the straw millionaire, and even if he just walked around the town for a day, there would be no shortage of things to eat. I don't get the reference, but you know. I take the souvenir from Anchan and pass it to Yuka and the others, who are half hidden behind the wall of the hallway. Here, he said we should eat this together.
ねえ、あの人誰？水瀬君とどういう関係？
Hey, who's that guy? What's his connection to you? It's my childhood friend, Anchan.
幼馴染なんだ。
Childhood friend, huh? Really? The others all start saying really too. Anchan, come on in. I'll pour you a cup of tea or something.
でもここ女子寮
But
だ
this is a
ろ。
girls' dorm, right? Yeah, you're right. Because I am staying here, I don't really think about it that often. Okay.
来いよ。昼飯おごって
Come
やる。
on, I'll treat you to lunch.
どうだこっちは。
Alright. That'll be... Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting escape just minimizes it, which is so weird. Escape should bring up a menu. That's so normal. Anyway, I have, obviously, like, a crazy amount of saves, so there's no reason to overwrite ones, you know what I mean? I'll just, you know, whatever. I'll just save it there. We'll just save it to go down the list, because why not? Anyway, regardless, that'll be a fantastic place to call it. And when we come back, we will reunite with Anchan and see what he's up to. Oh, my poor legs. I had him underneath me while I was playing for a long time, my poor left knee. Anyway, it's actually my left foot that actually hurts, my ankle, not my knee. Out of habit, I said knee. Regardless, that would be a great place to call it. I'm really enjoying this game. You know, like, a lot of, like, I go in and out of them losing me a little bit. Like, they lost me on the whole, airplane thing. Like, my brain was wrapping around it, but it was like getting lost in the explanation for so long. I was like, oh my god, I could feel my brain disconnecting. Like, so that was a little rough, not gonna lie, but The relationship part is the part I really care about. Like having Anchan here and like having him talk to the MC, like that's really cool. And I like hearing about the injury, and I like the people part of it, like the relationships and how's everyone doing and all that jazz, and seeing Kotori pop out of her shell and being included, and I love all that. So a lot of that part of it. Sometimes going into long-term explanation, my brain shuts off a little bit, but all in all though, I am having a good time, and I am very curious. What's interesting to think is I think this must be a really long playthrough, or like a really long game, because we have not come to any decisions yet, and I think there's a total of 4 or 5 decisions. There's only a few decisions to make throughout the game. I imagine that maybe when you get to them, you get to them in like rapid succession, but keep in mind that there is a total of 5 girls to romance. You have to romance 3 of them before the other 2 unlock. Or there's at least other characters you have to, like, there's a certain order, but there is a 5 total girls to unlock. And so, you know, and it's all based upon the decisions you make. So it's weird because you're like, we're almost 4 hours in total, more or less, and we haven't come to any decisions yet. So it's like, that means when we go back in, we can skip all of this. So so obviously the first romance, which I think Kotori is the first one. So the first romance we're going for will be the longest one because everything will be new. But after that, it'll be like a snowball, and it'll slowly be faster and faster because we would have seen more and more of it. So, you know, getting to the first decisions and getting through the first romance will be the longest one, but after that, it'll be much, much faster. So, anyway, regardless, though, I'm having a good time. So, as far as I know, tomorrow's upload should be normal, more or less, I think. They should more or less be normal, just because, yeah, anyway, as far as I know, they should be normal. It should be part 5 of Far Cry 4, and then it should be part 3, after work, of If My Heart Had Wings. So lots of good stuff there, and I hope you guys are enjoying. Anyway, that is going to call it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.